What's up, Detroit? We are back once again, and I am joined. It's always so great to share the same energy and space with people, and really to share the same energy and space with people that you didn't even know that you shared the same space and
Yep.
energy, and that kind of describes my guest, Mr. Gary Horton. What's up, man?
What up? How's
Hi.
it going? Thank you for having me.
Yes.
What up,
Thanks for
Detroit?
coming out. That's right. So Gary and I actually went to the same high school.
Yep.
We just didn't know. And I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to like, man, I know I've seen them because at the high school we went through, like we talked about 6200 Hall.
Yes, sir.
And you
Yes,
you
sir.
try to
Huron
walk
High
through there.
School.
Yeah, here on 8 Square. You try to walk through there, and it's
It's
like
tight.
500 people and try to
It's
fit
tight.
through 2 doors.
Yep.
So I know that our paths have crossed.
We passed. We again. I was quiet back then too.
Okay. I was a little loud.
Honestly, I was probably the same size. Real talk. You know what I mean?
I was
like,
not.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't grow a lot.
Yeah.
But
what a great experience, though.
it was great. Yeah, it was great.
I talk to a lot of people that when we grow up, we look back and like, wow, Ann Arbor is amazing. And I know we're What's Up Detroit, but we're going to give a little shout out to Ann Arbor right now.
Yes,
It's
sir.
it's
Yes,
such
sir.
an amazing melting pot, diversity. We're exposed to art,
It
which
is.
which you got into. We're exposed to music, which I was into. So I really like as we get older, I appreciate some things that we had access to.
We definitely had a lot of exposure to art. I mean, if not for Ann Arbor, I probably wouldn't have gotten to art. I
Yes.
remember when I was probably 6 years old when I first
Wow.
fell in love with art.
So you saw it or you did it?
I was just copying comic books and cartoons and stuff like that that I
Okay.
saw like on
Yes.
TV. My uncle, my dad's youngest brother, he collected comic books, and we'd go visit him down south, and he would like give me all these comic books. I wish I had them to this day, but
Oh yeah, I'm
You
sure
know,
they're probably worth like a lot of
a
money.
lot of money, of course, but I destroyed them. But I would take those home, and I would like recreate the drawings in them.
Nice.
And one day,
And did they look like them?
I don't know. Come on, I was doing my best. I was doing really
Right,
best.
right,
I like
right.
trying,
But you loved it.
I've always tried really hard. So
Yes.
yeah, I loved it, and I had a passion for it. But I didn't know what I wanted to do with that. Like, to be honest with you, my sister was the smart one. You know what I mean? And so my parents were always kind of like, "All right, so we're gonna kind of focus on her, the smart one. He's the youngest
Younger
one.
or
Older.
Older,
Yeah,
okay.
my
Oh, yeah,
older
yeah,
sister. Letha Horton. Shout out to Letha Horton. Rest in peace. Honestly.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, but I always wanted something to do. You know what I mean? Like, she was really smart, and I was really just talented at art.
Yeah.
And one day in Ann Arbor, we were walking through the farmers market after church one day. We'd go to-
Carytown area?
Carytown, right?
Okay. What
Carytown.
church?
Second Baptist Church in Ann Arbor.
Is that that's under like there's a park
Yep.
and
yep,
then
yep.
right at the end of the
Mac
park.
Pope,
Yeah.
yep. Yes, sir.
Do you know another Reed, Jamar Reed? I think his family went there.
Okay.
His mom, I think, used to sing.
That
in there
may
and
be
all
where
that.
I know
Yeah,
the Reeds
okay,
from. 'Cause when you
okay.
brought that name up,
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I know the Reed family.
Yeah, shout out
know
to
what I
Jamar.
mean?
It's been a long time.
I had the Reed family.
For sure.
But yeah, I was going through Carytown and the farmers market, and I seen a guy painting and selling these little comic book characters on pieces of wood.
Interesting.
He was selling other things too, but as a little
Yeah.
kid, that's all I saw. I saw
Right.
these little comic
Like,
book
ooh.
heads on this little wood, and I was like totally blown away. And like that was the first time it hit me that, oh wow, art can be a job. You know, like I never really realized that. I was
Yes.
like, oh, okay, art is a job.
Mhm.
And I started thinking about it. And my mom would say, before that time, my mom would always say, well, my son's gonna be a doctor when he grows up.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
wanted to be when you were young, whatever your mom wanted you to be.
Yes, for
you know what I
sure,
mean? Whatever
for
your
sure.
mom told you you were gonna be. But after that, I was like, I'm gonna be an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know what kind of artist because couldn't pinpoint what was going on.
So you had other talents in other arts.
I had other talents and other arts,
Okay.
but
Such
I knew I wanted
as?
to be an artist. I was sculpting as a little kid.
Nice.
I was painting.
Okay.
All sorts of acrylics and things like
Okay.
that. Like,
Okay.
if there'd have been YouTube back when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't
Man,
have
I
went
say that all the time.
I wouldn't have went to art school.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna be
know what I
real.
would have done.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know either.
Yeah.
I could have done anything I wanted to do.
Unlimited.
Yeah, seriously. I might be doing this. I might be interviewing people.
Right.
But yeah. But if not for that, if not for YouTube and things like that, like I wouldn't have went to art school, but I did end up going to art school, and
Okay.
that's where I took my talents
It-
after high
Detroit
school.
or
Oh, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I ended
Okay.
up going out to Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Yeah, so I hung out here after high school, after '94, graduated.
Uh-huh.
And then honestly, I just wanted to kind of hang out here with my friends. I wasn't like really motivated to go
Okay,
and do
okay,
it.
for sure,
I
for
knew
sure.
I had talent, but I wasn't really motivated to go do anything.
Right,
I was
right.
I was a homebody. I just wanted to kick it with my boys, and that
Uh-huh.
was pretty much it. You know what I mean? That's all I wanted to do.
Yes.
That was my life. My boys are here. My family's here. Why would I leave?
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
For
That
sure.
was my attitude. And it was about a year or so just hanging around the house, you know what I mean? Not having a job, hanging out with my boys and stuff like that. My parents just finally got kind of fed up with that. And they're like, you
Yeah.
got to do something.
something.
You
Yeah,
need to
it's
move
that
out.
time.
You need to move out. You need to get a job. You need to do something with your art. You need to do something. And like, honestly, real talk, like one of my boys that I was hanging out with went to jail.
Okay.
All right. And he was in jail.
He was like,
for
I don't want that.
yeah, I really didn't want
I
that.
don't know what I want, but I,
really
don't
did
want that.
And he was like really good at art too. He was
Okay.
super good at art. He
Mhm.
like I looked up to him. He was probably like in my teen years. He was who I kind of wanted to be like artistically. you
What's
know
his
what I mean?
name? You can tell me later.
I will. I will tell you later. I
Yeah.
will tell you later. And he went to jail,
Mhm.
and he was there for a few months, and he got out. And he was one of the first. I was one of the first persons he called, and he was like, "Yeah, come on over." And we were sitting by his house and whatever. And he was like, he was telling me about his time in jail and whatever. And he was like, "Yo, this dude told me about this school that I might go to." And I was like, "For real?"
Nice.
He's like, "Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go check it out." You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna take this stuff seriously. I still wasn't trying to leave home.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
"Well, whatever, man. That's cool."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take my portfolio down there and check out this spot."
Interesting.
And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll go with you. I'll check it out. I'll go for the ride. You know,
Right.
I'm down to party." And so we drove down there. And he's like, "You should bring your portfolio." And I was like, "Yeah, I will." And so I brought my portfolio too.
Let me just pause for a minute,
Yeah, man, go
because I was gonna ask you like what inspired you, you know, and I was thinking it was gonna be I was walking through the arb and I saw this flower that I'd never
Yeah.
seen before,
Nah, man.
but you know you're telling of a story. Just to recap, you're telling of a story of a friend who
Yeah.
had similar talents
Yeah.
that went to jail
Yeah.
and he came out of jail, you know, after a few months,
Yes,
but
sir.
with ambition to pursue art, which was contagious to you.
Yeah. Yes. That's exactly how
That's-
I
that's
yeah.
a hell of
It
a
was kind
story.
of contagious. And honestly, and then he got into the school, got accepted. They offered me a little scholarship too. They were like, "All right, you can get in here too." But
Yeah.
I still wasn't trying to go.
Right.
And
So you applied.
I did apply, you know what I
Okay.
mean? But I still wasn't trying to go.
Did
you
they
know?
accept him too? I got so many questions.
They did accept him. They
Okay,
accepted
good.
him and
Good.
me. And so we were gonna go. Like finally, my parents were like, "All right, you got to get out of here." So we were gonna go, but I wasn't trying to go. I went kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I went kicking and screaming. But I had to do that. It was either that or move in with one of my broke friends, and
Yeah, right.
then who would have known what my life would have been right now?
For
You know.
sure.
But
So you chose the ambitious friend.
So I chose the ambitious route, kicking and screaming. And honestly, we went back home. We had a whole summer together before we had to go do the first semester. He met some girl,
Okay.
changed his mind.
So he didn't go and you went?
He never went, and I was forced to go at this point.
So
know
you
what I
was by
mean?
yourself.
I was by myself. I
man.
was in this city. I didn't know anybody. I didn't even want to go in the first place.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, and that's how I ended up in art school in Pittsburgh. And
But
like,
that story, like, it's amazing. Like, so it was almost like that was the direction you were supposed to take. And your
Yeah.
friend was there
Yeah.
to kind of get you there
Yeah.
and then go do what he was
Yeah.
going to do.
yeah, it's sad. It really is sad because he was better than me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He was definitely better than me. And yeah, man, like I wish you'd have came with me.
Yeah. Yeah. So you went there. What did you, so when you, 4 years, was it 4 years? I'm
It
assuming?
was a 2 year.
2
It was
years?
2 years
Okay.
college. Yeah.
And so you came back. You came back to Ann Arbor after
Yep.
that.
I came back here for a quick second. I came back here to just make some money
Okay.
real quick so I can move out west.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like,
Oh,
all
so
right.
you was ready to move at this
Man,
point.
I
You
was
like,
ready.
I got
was
this.
ready. Like once
Yeah.
I experienced Pittsburgh, I learned so much in Pittsburgh. Like
Yes.
it opened my eyes. Like I literally went there to take you back to the YouTube thing, to oil paint. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Okay.
I didn't know how to oil paint. I knew how to do acrylic. I knew how to do pencil, color
Yes.
pencil. I knew all that stuff.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But I was like, all right, I need to go to art school to learn how to oil paint. So that was my only draw to going to Pittsburgh. I was like, well, at least I learned how to oil paint.
Right.
You know? And so I was taking all these oil painting classes, all these illustrating classes, and my roommates, they were all like graffiti artists and stuff like that from like different towns and cities.
Yes.
And
I'm going to ask you a question right there too,
all right.
because when I looked at your website, I got a graffiti-ish type of feel on a lot of the things that you've done,
Yes, sir.
but it's a twist to it.
Yep.
So now hearing your story, that part of your roommates and that experience at the college and all art school and all that type of stuff, do you think that kind of influenced your outlook on?
Yes, they totally did. Like I give my roommates and everything a lot of credit for teaching me everything they did teach me and influenced me so much and brought me into that whole realm
Yeah.
and that world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That culture. I credit them so much for what I do now and where I am because, again, kicking and screaming, they're like, come on, man, come out with us. Hit these straight knives.
Right.
I'm like, man, that sounds illegal, man. You guys are going to get arrested, man. You guys are da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these reasons I wasn't going to do it. You know, I'm from Ann Arbor. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying. You know,
Right, trying
you know
to
what I mean? I wasn't trying to do it. But yeah, and I ended up doing that. And yeah, it did influence me. Influenced me in everything I did because in the classroom I was getting this kind of like a classical training,
Sure,
and at night
sure.
I was getting this street training. You know what I mean?
You got to
I was
have
getting-
both.
You gotta have
gotta have
both,
both.
man. They both have their different styles,
Yeah.
and they both have their different color theories.
Exactly.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
And then you could appeal to so many different people when you have both.
you have both. You know what I mean? You need both. Yeah,
Yes.
you definitely need both. A lot of these festivals and stuff, they're like no graffiti lettering, and so
Right.
if you even put that on your application, you're not getting it. You know
For
what
sure.
I mean? So,
For sure.
but yeah, I credit a lot of that and what I do, my style
Yes.
now, to that culture. You know, that graffiti culture.
So let's talk about your style. So what type of art? For guests who don't know, like what type of art do you do? Like what murals?
Yes.
Share that.
I do a lot of murals. Primarily, I'm a muralist now.
Okay.
How I kind of got into that is selling paintings.
Okay.
So I was just trying to sell my wild style, kind of abstract paintings of my little robots and colorful.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
And UFOs, right?
Yeah, UFOs. I'm kind of weird. You know what I mean?
I'm into that.
Yeah,
Like,
I love sci-fi.
I'm afraid of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to get abducted.
Yes, me too. Yes, me too.
But
Yeah.
I always watch those like ancient alien shows
Yeah,
on
yeah.
history and
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
until I get freaked out. Then
That's
I
what I'm
turn it
saying.
off.
Yeah. I love that stuff. Though.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been into that. When I use it in my art, though, it's kind of like representing like out of this world. You know what I mean?
Nice,
Like out
nice.
there. Like this
Which
is
is like almost AT aliens, Outcast.
yeah.
96.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like a different perspective. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
supposed to be alien. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
so, it's like So that's
That's
that's,
sweet.
kind of how I use it in my work, like with the UFOs and things like that. But yeah, I love that stuff, and I've always been into that. You know, I'm a sci-fi geek.
Okay, all right,
You
for
know?
sure. So how does a muralist start? Like, do you find a canvas and you're like, I just got to do this, and you do a couple just on your own, or do you like approach a business and it's like, wow, I really want to provide a mural
Mhm.
to this.
If I were a young muralist just starting out, I would approach a business, a newly opened business, and I would do it for almost free. You know what I mean? First of all, I would practice on my own. I would get good enough to where you could approach a business and do it for free, because once you burn a wall,
Yes.
once you do really well, you know what I mean? Like people are gonna just keep calling.
For
You know what
sure.
I mean? And so my advice would be do really cheap, well work. You know what I mean? Do really good work
Mhm.
for next to nothing.
Right.
And then your phone will ring. And
Yeah.
then once your phone starts ringing, then you can start charging different prices.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also I would say to a mural artist, don't just draw something and slap it onto a wall. But you want to do like my whole thing, my approach is I design the space. I
Yeah.
design the wall. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'll ask a client I'll ask a client about the history of the town, you know what I mean, of the building.
Because that comes out in your art.
Totally. Yeah,
Mhm.
you need that in there. You know what I mean? You need what's this building used for? What's this
Right.
space used for? Who's
Right.
in here? Is it a happy space? Is it a
Yes.
sad space? Is business in here? Is eating in here?
Yes.
Because all that has a different color palette and a different
sure.
color theory as well. You know what
sure.
I mean? So there's a lot more than goes into it than just putting paint on a wall. It can get kind of technical, but it is like, honestly, if I was a young mural artist just trying to get started out,
Yes.
I would say just put something really cool on a wall for next to nothing, and your phone will start ringing. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
yes,
don't
yes.
worry about the money at first. Like, honestly, people are attracted to people who love what they do.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
can feel that vibe.
that's
You
what
can-
it
yeah.
is. You know what I mean? The money
wanna be a
comes
part of it.
afterwards. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, for me, at this point, like, I really get off on the stories people tell me after I do a piece. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that's the value to me. Like, the dollars, that's already spent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
paying off loans and bills and stuff like that.
For sure.
Whatever, man, that's already spent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at this point, when somebody sits there and tells you about a piece of art that you've done and what it makes them feel or whatever, I'll tell you a quick story.
Mhm.
I painted a mural. It was at a lower income housing home where people come out, prisons and things like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And they go into these homes and, they get their lives back together. And it's about 3 floors. And I painted about 2 of the floors. And there's an elevator,
Interior?
right?
Or?
Interior.
Okay.
Right as you're coming off the elevator, there's this huge wall. And I was in there for probably a month, painting
nice.
2 murals.
Yeah.
And so I got to know these residents really well. And there was this one named, I'll use her name, Roberta.
Okay.
Okay, so her name was Cookie, all right? Her name was
Hey,
Cookie.
I know Cookie.
All right, so her
Like
name was
almost
Cookie.
My
and
fake
she-
aunt is
Oh,
Cookie.
yeah.
Yeah.
she's loud, she's
Yeah.
boisterous, she's crazy, she's all that. But she came to the elevator one day and she's about to head out into the streets and do her thing, make her money, and she stops and she goes, this is how I found out her name's Roberta.
Mhm.
She turns to me and she goes, every day I got to go out down this elevator, hit these streets, and be Cookie.
Yeah.
But for 30 seconds while waiting for this elevator, I get to be Roberta
Wow.
while looking at your art.
That's so.
You know what I mean? And that's when I found out. I just got to chill right now.
Yeah,
And like,
for
that's
real.
how I found out her name was Roberta.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, all
Yeah.
right, I will always remember your name. Thank you for telling me that.
That's
Like,
beautiful.
and that's what I'm
That's sweet,
saying.
yeah,
And like, I
yeah.
was like, I don't remember how much I made on that mural, but
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? I remember
Exactly.
that.
Yes.
So that's honestly.
Have you ever been tagged?
What do you mean? Like tagged over
Yeah.
my art? No, not tagged.
Okay, good.
I've had a piece recently defaced.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, I know, and I think I know the old man who did it too.
Okay. Oh, it
'Cause-
wasn't even an artist?
No, man, it was the dude kind of came over too. Was like, oh, I hope nobody defaces it. There's a lot of
Returning
crazy
to the
people.
scene of the crime.
You know what I mean? And I was like, people usually don't do that to
Right,
murals. You know what I
right,
mean? That's
yeah.
like a street disrespect thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like for toys and stuff. But
Exactly.
yeah. And then I came back a few days later, but it wasn't much. You could tell he was kind of scary. He like just hid around a corner and like
Right.
he just put like some marks on it. You know what I mean? It was like, I was like, this
That's
dude.
crazy.
I was like, that's all good though. But
You know,
no,
coming in today, and coming back downtown, and I love, I was probably here a week ago, and for where I parked was far, which was a good issue to have. It was a
Yep.
good problem because the city is popping. It's a
Right now.
Thursday. We got Red Wings. I don't know if they've had the whole opener yet, but it's close to that.
Yep.
And Price is Right is at Fox
Yep.
Theater. So
cracking.
the downtown is jumping.
Yep.
But when I was parking, so I parked a little further because I didn't want to pay $100 to park close. I saw a mural that I've never seen before.
Okay.
And it was a brother on the wall. And I always think about that. I've coming from Ann Arbor, we're 1,000,000% embedded in us is diversity.
Mhm.
But Detroit is, as it's going through its transformation, I think is so historically and and culturally important
Yes.
to make sure to still show
Yes.
the people who were initially 80% of the population.
Of the
You know what I'm
population.
saying?
You're
So,
right.
you see that, and it kind of like the Roberta that will, is Cookie. Her face. She was
Right.
almost letting you know her face is Cookie.
Right.
My heart, my who I am is
Roberta.
Roberta,
Yep.
and your art allowed her to be
Yep.
who she was.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that that's the power of what muralists do.
I agree.
And shout out to Curtis Wallace.
Curtis Wallace,
I know
my
you
boy.
know him.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and that's my dog who's done some really great, amazing muralist stuff.
Mhm.
I also know that we have another mutual friend, Tammy.
Tammy, big ups to Tam for setting this whole thing up.
Yes, who
Yes.
who was sitting exactly where you were
I love Tam.
a few months back.
Tam.
She's a great hearted person.
Mhm.
She connected us. We shared her story with Blue, her
Yes.
dog.
Oh my God.
And are you doing a mural on
I'm
her?
doing a mural for Blue's house. So I'm gonna be
That-
doing a little piece inside
That is
of
so
the
sweet.
house and outside of the house. I know. I love Tam. And
Yes.
I love what she's doing for dogs and
She
everything. I'm a
is.
huge
She has a
dog
heart for
person.
it.
I know she's one of the best people I've ever met. You know what I mean? I
Awesome.
wish I could be more like her.
Yes,
Honestly.
yeah,
Like,
we all want to be a little
yes,
bit more
I
like
strive to
Tammy.
be more like people like that. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? That are just doing
Exactly.
stuff like for no reason. You know what I mean? And like that's why I do murals. Like, and I was telling you, it's not even for the money at this point anymore. It's
Right.
like I try to find my spot where I can
Yes.
do what I do, like and like make a space. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
what I do for murals, I make spaces beautiful for environments. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
make people
yes.
feel, I make their environment feel important, hence making them feel important.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
And that's what's going on in Detroit right now with all these mural projects and everything
Mhm,
going on.
mhm.
This city's gonna be popping.
It is,
In like the
it
next
is.
5-6 years,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like New York. I mean, it's gonna be one of the destination places
Yeah,
where
for
artists
sure.
want to come and get down and do their thing. I mean,
I think that's such a huge point. Like, as Detroit is developing,
hmm
and that's why Detroit always stays real to what Detroit is.
yes,
It's developing economically.
Yes.
It's developing in real estate. It's developing in art.
yes.
It's developing in music.
Yes.
It's developing in sports. The Lions.
Here we
It's
go.
like
Big
everything
ups.
is
Big ups to
developing.
my Lions.
Yeah. So I think that really is a testament to the people here. Where can we find your artwork?
I am all over Ann Arbor. I am all over Ypsilanti. I got a couple pieces and around here, center line.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I'm on the outskirts here of Detroit. I'm trying to get
Website?
website. You can find me at hortonpaintco.com.
Okay.
Hit me up on my Instagram if you want to see how I actually make these things.
Yes.
I post time lapse video of the making of all my art. So on
Awesome.
Instagram at Horton Paint Co. again, or on Facebook, Twitter. What's the other one? TikTok. I'm on all that.
A new
Yeah,
one
yeah.
every week.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
seems like.
yeah. TikTok. You can
I'm
find
still
me
on
all that.
Facebook. So. Convert in technology in a lot of ways,
I
but
feel you, yeah.
on social media,
Yep, but still, yep. I'm on there. I'm on Facebook. I just started a YouTube channel. I haven't put
Okay,
my new
good.
videos on there, but that's the next place where I'm going with this. Though
Yes.
I'm going to start. It's going to be called "If These Walls Can Talk," and I'm going to be interviewing artists.
Nice.
And you know what I mean, like graffiti artists, mural artists,
Yes.
things like that, talking
Yes.
about their journey.
That's
And,
awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So
Well, I can't wait to see more. I know that we're going to do more
Yes.
as things progress. And I'm in Ann Arbor. We moved back there about a year ago.
Yes.
Me and my family were out there. So I'm looking forward to all that.
yes,
Anything that we end up doing where there can be collaboration with arts, that I'll be hitting you up right along
Hit me up.
with Curtis
hit me up,
and
my
see
boy
what we
Curtis.
could do.
We got to do a collab together.
Yeah,
Like, we paint.
yeah.
We've been painting Ipsy up. Like him and
Nice.
I, man, we've been tearing it up. I just
That's
did one
what's
out
up.
there. He just did another one out there. So we've been tearing it up right now. We got to do a big collab here. I got a feeling next summer.
Okay.
so.
All right. Well, don't forget me.
I ain't gonna forget you.
I can't draw or do any kind of
Yeah,
art,
yeah.
but I'll bring something.
You're part of the
I'll do
fam
something.
now.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for
And you
having
heard
me,
it,
Darius. I
Detroit.
appreciate you. What's
We'll-
up, Detroit?
We'll see you next time.